Hey, what's up, guys? So, in the life of JOE today, I wanted to talk about reparations. And so, yesterday, as we were talking about Judge Hugger there, I was, just feeling a little bit of racial undertones to that whole situation. But then, kind of going down the rabbit hole, I was like, you know what? I want to talk about reparations because really, that is a topic I think everyone loves to talk about in terms of whether or not reparations should is a good thing or a bad thing. I wanted to hear from someone who just categorically 100% said this is a horrible thing, and I was like, gosh, where could I find someone with that opinion? And so naturally I was like, oh yeah, PragerU, of course, naturally. So this guy, his name is Burgess Owens. So with a multitude of reasons. You know what? Actually, let's just watch this. I do want to hear what he has to say, but I just feel like a lot of it's going to be BS. But I once again, his name is Burgess Owens. I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna keep an open mind, but I just feel it's gonna be a lot of bullshit. So before I start, though, I'm gonna have some truly hard seltzer. I said yesterday I was probably not gonna have it again, but then I lied and went ahead and grabbed another one. So, yeah. Oh, so let's go ahead and start this video.
My great-great-grandfather, Silas Burgess, came to America shackled in the belly of a slave ship. He was sold on an auction block in Charleston, South Carolina, to the Burgess plantation. Orphaned by age 8, he was fortunately surrounded by elder slaves with a
Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't get the whole cartoon concept. I I mean, in the video description, it says, "Oh, Burgess Owens, talks about why he doesn't need or why we don't need or deserve reparations." And now I feel like I'm watching a poorly drawn Saturday morning cartoon.
physically chained, mentally envisioned themselves as free men. They escaped, taking young Silas with them, making their way to West Texas.
Oh, sorry.
Silas worked hard and saved his money. Eventually, he became the owner of 102 acres of farmland, which he cultivated and paid off within 2 years. I proudly carry the name of my first American ancestor, who, like millions of others drawn or brought to our country, struggled past overwhelming obstacles to live.
Okay, I have a feeling I know where this is going, and you know what? I just want to completely destroy this dude right now. Because okay, so his family, his ancestors escaped slavery, went to West Texas. Got 102 acres, which is, I mean, that's like the dream, right? 102 acres. I mean, at first it was just what 10 acres and a mule, but 102 acres. That's phenomenal. That is absolutely great. But I'm just really scared about where this fool's going right now because I'm gonna go ahead and let him finish though. I'm gonna let you finish.
American dream. Silas founded the first black church, the first black elementary school in this town. He was a Republican, a Christian.
Okay. um. So it sounds like Burgess Owens' great grandfather was a pretty swell guy. Did a lot of stuff. Talking his grandfather up really nicely. He was a slave. He built some churches, some schools. He had 102 acres of land. This dude was very blessed. I'm starting to get that here. I'm starting to see that. I'm still not hearing why though we shouldn't have a conversation about reparations. That's really the only thing that I haven't heard yet. Granted, I'm being really petty here because I know the video just started, but still, I want results.
And a pillar of his community. He was proud and industrious and taught his children to be the same. Now, because great-great-grandpa Silas was once a slave, so-called progressives want to give me money. Never mind that, like him, I'm an entrepreneur who received an excellent education, built businesses, raised a remarkable family, and unlike most white Americans, earned a Super Bowl ring. Because of
Prager, you what? WTF? Like, are you serious? Okay, so this is like just added to the multitude of reasons why the Oakland Raiders suck. Okay, so I obviously have never seen this dude play, but you know what? I'm sure that he did a swell job, earning that Super Bowl ring and coming out of slavery to do so. And see, this is the thing. I'm not saying that he shouldn't feel blessed. I'm not saying that he shouldn't feel a certain type of way of being able to accomplish everything that he's been able to accomplish. Yet, I still haven't heard an argument into why there shouldn't be this talk about reparations.
Work I've never done, stripes I've never had, under whip I've never known. These progressives want to give me money I've never earned. The fact that this money will be forcibly taken from others who also dreamed, worked, and sacrificed for it, I'm told is not my concern, but it is. At the core of the reparations movement is a distorted and demeaning view of blacks and whites. It grants superiority to the white race, treating them as an oppressive people too powerful for black Americans to overcome. It brands blacks as hapless victims, devoid of the ability which every other culture possesses to assimilate and to progress. The reparations movement.
Okay, wait. Okay, so. Okay, where do I. Okay, so. Okay, these are the times that I wish that I could just like literally. I wish that I was in front of this sellout here, Mr. Burgess Owens, because. Okay. So, first of all, once again, dude is blessed. Okay, great grandparents escaped slavery, 102 acres of land. He paid it off in 2 years, built school. Dude is blessed. But I would argue that there were many others that weren't as blessed as this Mr. Burgess Owens. For example, there 1921 Greenwood, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street, affluent families, African American families who owned banks, who were doctors and lawyers and built libraries and had a whole community. Literally, it was called the Black Wall Street. 1921, that place was destroyed. That place was bombed. That place was burned to the ground by the residents of neighboring jealous, people of a certain color, and then the police. So it's like the police themselves bombed Black Wall Street, taking away legitimate millionaires in the process. So these people had their wealth taken away from them. Unlike you, Mr. Burgess Owens, who once again is blessed enough to be able to, talk about his Super Bowl ring with the Oakland Raiders. They still suck. So it's like, once again, I'm not hearing an argument. Okay, because you're not telling me anything that once again. Oh, you know what? Another thing. Okay, another thing. So he starts talking about that he never, felt a whip, all this other stuff. Once again, he's blessed. He's blessed. But what he also may want to remember that when was it? 1932. When those innocent black men were given syphilis by our dude, they were given syphilis by our government. Okay, so yeah, they weren't ripped or they weren't whipped. You know what? Like literally a couple of sips of this, and wow. But yeah, they weren't whipped, but they were given syphilis. I mean, that. Are you serious?
But conveniently forgets the 150 years of legal, social, and economic progress obtained by millions of American minorities. It also minimizes the sacrifice of hundreds of thousands of white Americans and a Republican president who gave their lives to eradicate slavery.
Okay, so I'm starting to see this Burgess Owens dude. It's a pawn. Okay. We all know. Okay. And once again, so you know how they say history and then his story. This is a perfect example because Abraham Lincoln. Yes, Abraham Lincoln wrote the that proclamation junk, and yes, he started the process of freeing slaves. However, that wasn't out of the goodness of his heart. That was to stick it to the South because he didn't want to disrupt the Union. That's so. I mean, yeah, let's not. I'm not saying the dude was a bad president or anything like that, but I mean, an apple is an apple. I'm not sure if that's a real saying, but once again, this is so nice. Um, Other thing, I get what he's saying about people, especially Caucasians, who fought in the war to also, free slaves and things like that. That right there, honestly, is probably one of the best arguments I think he's made. Is that actually, you know what? I'm talking too much now.
I think Grandpa Silas would have seen this loss of American lives as payment in full. Every grateful Black American, then and now, will feel the same. The reparations.
So yes, I am thankful for the people in the Civil War who gave their lives to help free slaves. I'm sure after that took place, I'm sure Emmett Till was thankful as well, for that. Oh wait, no, that's right. Emmett Till was murdered in 1955. I'm sure everyone involved in the race riots in Detroit in 1942 are also thrilled. I'm sure Rodney King was thrilled as he was beaten to a pulp on video, no less, and the cops were still acquitted. See, this is the type of bullshit right here that I don't like because he's trying to make it seem as if everything is all hunky-dory and nice and after the Civil War, just there were rainbows and sunshine. And, once again, his family had 102 acres, built all this stuff. He's blessed. I'm not taking that away from him. But once again, that doesn't mean that we can't have a talk about all the other people that were royally screwed.
Reparations movement also reinforces a view of racial relationships that undermines America's Judeo-Christian foundation. It defies the ideals of forgiveness and second chances and scorns individual accountability. Proponents of reparations.
Okay. I'm not sure about the whole. What? No, that doesn't even make any sense. Individual accountability? Okay, so let me ask you a question. He talked about earlier about suppression, oppression, and all that junk. So let me ask you a question. Okay, so right now there are schools in the United States, inner city schools right now in the United States, rural schools right now in the United States that are using textbooks from the late 80s or early 90s. How is that even acceptable in the year 2019? How is any child that is in an inner city school, how is that child supposed to read a textbook from the 1980s and expect it to be able to produce or be able to have the same knowledge as someone who's reading a textbook at least from 2015? I mean, what are you talking about? That literally is the definition of oppression. You're literally oppressing a whole culture, and then you're suppressing their ability to even have a fair chance. Like, once again, I haven't heard anything from this guy that I want to know how much he got paid. Like, I really do. Times must be really, really hard ever since he won that Super Bowl ring with the Oakland Raiders. Like, I want to know how much he got paid. I mean,
believe that Black Americans are incapable of carrying their own burdens, while white Americans must bear the sins of those who came before them. Proponents do not take into account the majority of white Americans who never owned slaves, who fought to end slavery, or who came to America long after it was ended.
Okay, let's be real now. Let's honestly be real. When slavery was a thing, okay, when slavery was a thing, how many people do you think were standing outside with pickets and signs saying, free the slaves? There's probably like one or two. Like, come on now. No. And once again, going back to the Civil War, yes, absolutely. There were people that helped free the slaves. I'm not saying anything about that. But see, reparations doesn't have to be, money. No one, the only people that seem to talk about money are people like that seem to be like Burgess Owens, who was once again blessed and thinks that the rest of us just, I don't know, flip a coin or something. Why can't reparations be giving these inner city school children textbooks from, let's just say, yeah, you know what? Let's just say 2005, okay? Let's upgrade to 2000. Let's go from 1989 to 2005. How about we do that? That could be a form of reparations. But no, like it just has to be money and it has to be, oh, I don't deserve this. What about everyone else? What about the people who are literally still living under oppression right now? Because of course it's still going on. And if you think it's not going on, then you know what? You are probably one of the lucky ones and you're just naive. Yeah, I said it.
This divisive message marks the black race as forever broken. A people whose healing can only come through the guilt, pity, and benevolence of whites. Tragically, we now see this playing out on our college campuses. As young white Americans acknowledge their skin color as a privilege, young black Americans, with no apparent shame, accept their skin color as one that automatically confers victim status. In doing so...
Okay, so you know what is funny about what he's trying to do right now? The little traitor here, anyways. So that already happens without reparations. Because let's be honest. I mean, if you look at it from the 4th grade, the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, all the way up to probably your senior year. Man, I got some passion there, and all of a sudden, But once again, 3rd grade or 4th grade, 4th grade, all the way up to your senior year in high school, what do you mostly learn about slavery? That's all you learn about is slavery. And that, you're black, you were slaves. You don't hear about this other stuff about like, oh, we came from kings. You learn that stuff later in college. But that's not taught, to people or to children from the 4th grade all the way up to senior year. No, that's not taught. So how in the world are they not supposed to feel like victims when all they're taught is that they're come from chains? Once again, another part of reparations could be teaching African Americans that they don't just come from chains. That could also be a form of reparations. I don't like this dude. I don't like the Raiders either.
They seem unaware that this perception of blacks was shared by the 1960s Southern white supremacists of my youth. Those who seek reparations have accepted the theory.
I love how they, have to mention that little drawing there that all those people were Democrats, which, you know what, is true. But let's be honest. The Democrats of old are not the same Democrats of today, just like the Republicans of old are damn sure not the Republicans today. So
that skin color alone is capable of making one race superior to the other. That with no additional effort, values, or personal initiative, white Americans will succeed while black Americans will fail. At its very core, this represents the
See, and once again, this propaganda bullshit right here, no one's saying that. No, absolutely no one is saying that. But once again, if you look at a child who's reading a textbook from 1989, they categorically 100% have a disadvantage versus a child who's probably reading a textbook once again from at least 2015. It has nothing to do with the fact that he can't succeed. Of course he can succeed. But at the same time, he probably needs a textbook from at least 2005 in order to do that.
Condescending evil of racism. It certainly does not represent Black America's potential. 40% of Black households today live the middle-class American dream. There are thousands of Black Americans among our nation's top 1% of income earners. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, and professors, not to mention music, TV, film, and sports stars. Many of our society's most revered and celebrated citizens are Black. The journeys of these Americans to wealth and prominence vary, like those of their white counterparts. But many benefited from having ancestors like Grandpa Salas, who embraced the opportunities their country provided and who left behind a legacy of proud, productive, patriotic, and successful families. Why should white Americans, my neighbors, friends, and fellow citizens, owe me anything? If Grandpa Salas were here, I'm certain his message to everyone, whether Black or white, would simply be this.
See, and once again, his colorful twist of words is just, anyways, white Americans don't owe Black Americans shit. Okay, that is the truth. That's probably the one honest thing this fool has said the entire video. White Americans don't owe Black Americans shit. However, what is owed to Black Americans is some sort of reparations from the U.S. government. Yeah, it is. Once again, it could just be brand new textbooks, okay, for inner city youth. There are a multitude of things that can be done to really just help the individuals who were greatly oppressed for hundreds and hundreds of years just have an equal playing field. That's all. You don't got to write them a check. Just make it a level playing field. It's apparently affirmative action.
Good character cannot be bought by bribery. I'm Burgess Owens for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video. To help.
Anyways, so that's the turncoat there, Burgess Owens. I'm glad this video is over. Like, I felt that he just didn't add anything to the conversation of reparations. He basically just bragged the entire video about how he's great, how he's lucky, how he was able to do great things, and why other people should be just like him and also play for the Oakland Raiders and win a Super Bowl ring. Let me know what you guys thought. I mean, maybe I was just drinking too many of these, and maybe I'm just being petty. I don't know. Like, let me know what you thought. If you agree with the turncoat here, let me know. If you don't agree, yeah, or if you agree with me, let me know too. So like, comment, subscribe. Once again, this has been another In the Life of J-O-E. Follow my Instagram, and you guys have a great day. I'm gonna do one of these things now.